Episode 56 VK, July 1st, 2024. Supreme Court loosens air pollution regulation. Ella's Law Campaign. In Episode 56 VK, 1. World. Suburban propane elevates your backyard for summer fun. 2. World. Turning the world to powder, carbon from forest fires. 3. World. Tackling the dual threat. A global strategy for PM2.5 and O3 pollution. 4. United States. The New York Times. Here's what the U.S. Supreme Court Chevron ruling, the end of the Chevron Deference Doctrine, could mean. The decision is expected to prompt a rush of litigation challenging regulations across the entire federal government, from food safety to the environment. 5. United States. Allergy and Asthma Network newsletter. July 1st, 2024. Environmental policies or best practices to reduce asthma triggers is the 6th exhale strategy. 6. Arizona. Wood-burning prohibition. 7. California. Smoke advisory issued through weekend in LA area from Northern California wildfires. 8. California Air Resources Board. Combustion pollutants and indoor air quality. CA.gov Combustion pollutants are the gases and particles made by burning any fuel, such as wood. 9. California, San Francisco. PM2.5 and COVID-19. What COVID-19 spike could mean for California wildfires. Health. 10. California, Ventura. The temperature of fireworks compared to the temperature of wood burning. 11. Iowa. State fire deaths rate about average midway through the year. 12. Massachusetts, Boston. Man arrested for arson after fire destroys Squealing Pig, police say. 14. New York, Buffalo. New responsibility, warning from New York State. WYRK. The sound of kids playing fills the playgrounds, and the smell of wood smoke lingers in the air most of the day, whether it is a grill. 15. Pennsylvania, Lancaster, West Earl Township. RAWSEP View. It is not helpful to suggest that wood burners using only clean, dry wood are not polluting their air and the air of their near neighbors. It would simplify the code and save lives by simply stating that wood burning is banned, and there are cheaper alternatives in 2024 for home heating, with rebates of up to $8,000, based on a sliding income scale, available for heat pumps that work down to 40 degrees below zero and double as air conditioners. 16. Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh. Fire at Westinghouse Arts Academy School in Wilmerding. I smelled like burning wood, and I got down off the scaffolding, said a contractor who was working at the building. 17. Vermont, West Newbury. Forum for June 25, 2024, burning biomass. Valley News. Please urge your members of Congress to treat industrial wood burning, biomass for what it really is, a threat to our climate, wildlife, forests, air quality, and the communities where polluters set up shop. A resident, West Newbury, Vermont. 18. Washington. PM2.5 and human eye health. Wildfire smoke could get in your eyes this summer. 19. Washington, Spokane. Burn ban to be in effect in cities across Spokane County starting July 2, 2024. 20. Washington, Wenatchee. How Wenatchee Fire Department trains for EV battery fires. RAWSEP View. Don't burn wood, period. 21. Canada. Burning trees for energy really does heat the climate, scientists argue. 22. Canada, British Columbia, Cowichan Valley. RAWSEP View. Is this editorial, from November 15, 2019, still relevant? Has the Cowichan Valley made any progress in instituting new bans on indoor residential wood burning? 23. Canada, British Columbia, East Kootenay. Moving firewood spreads invasive species. RAWSEP View. Just don't burn wood or other solid fuels. 24. Canada, Northwest Territories. Tips for avoiding negative health effects from smoke. My true north now. Refrain from using wood stoves. 25. United Kingdom. Ella's Law. Air so polluted it can kill isn't being taken seriously enough. 26. United Kingdom. Middle-class trend of fitting wood-burning stoves is undermining fight against air pollution. 27. United Kingdom, Shropshire. Politicians told more funding needed to prevent wildfires as temperatures rise. 28. Germany, Melpitz. Researchers make disturbing air pollution discovery in small rural town. 29. India, Chandni Chowk. 15 days after blaze, locals battle smoke in Chandni Chowk hub. 30. India, Delhi. Delhi weather update, PM2.5. 31. India, Patna. Take steps to check pollution, Patna DM tells stakeholders. 32. India. When the streets speak, one must listen. The Wire. Death came alive among the living, smelling of ghee, incense, with smoke, and water everywhere. After the cremations and demonstrations. 33. PM2.5 and meteorological influences. 34. PM2.5 in your heart, lungs, and brain. Main content. 1. World. Suburban propane elevates your backyard for summer fun. Woman's World. With the touch of a button, it starts instantly and generates less smoke and air pollution compared to wood-burning fire pits. 2. World. Turning the world to powder, carbon from forest fires. The American Scholar. Or the carbon particles carried along by the wood smoke of forest fires. 3. World. Tackling the dual threat. A global strategy for PM2.5 and O3 pollution. Newswise. Particulate matter, PM2.5, and ozone, O3. Despite global efforts, many cities continue to face significant exposure risks from these pollutants. 4. United States. The New York Times. Here's what the U.S. Supreme Court Chevron ruling, the end of the Chevron Deference Doctrine, could mean. The decision is expected to prompt a rush of litigation challenging regulations across the entire federal government, from food safety to the environment. June 28, 2024. RAWSEP View. What is the Chevron Deference Doctrine in simple terms? NRDC 467 U.S. 837, 1984. Under Chevron, a court defers to agency interpretations of ambiguous statutes, as long as the judge finds the interpretation to be reasonable. If the court limits or upends the Chevron doctrine, the ruling would pull back the leeway that agencies have had in interpreting statutes. Excerpts edited by RAWSEP for brevity and clarity in relationship to residents against wood smoke emission particulates, a 501c3 nonprofit organization. The Supreme Court's decision on Friday to limit the broad regulatory authority of federal agencies could lead to the elimination or weakening of thousands of rules on the environment. The decision is a major victory in a decades-long campaign by conservative activists limiting the reach and authority of what those activists call the administrative state. The court's opinion could make it easier for opponents of federal regulations to challenge them in court, prompting a rush of new litigation, while also injecting uncertainty into businesses and industries. Here is a look at how the decision might affect the EPA, government agency. The Environmental Protection Agency. Environmentalists fear that the end of the Chevron Doctrine will mean the elimination of EPA rules limiting air pollution and, especially, tackling climate change. Over the past 6 months, the Biden administration has issued the most ambitious rules in the country's history aimed at cutting climate-warming pollution from cars, trucks, power plants, and oil and gas wells. Without those rules, it would very likely be impossible for President Biden to achieve his goal of cutting greenhouse gas emissions in half by 2030, which analysts say all major economies must do to avoid the most deadly and catastrophic impacts of global warming. All of the Biden climate rules have already been the target of lawsuits, winding their way through the courts. Legal experts say that the reversal of Chevron will not remove EPA's legal obligation to regulate climate-warming pollution. That was detailed in a 2007 Supreme Court decision and in 2022 legislation passed by Democrats in anticipation of challenges to that authority. But the specific regulations, such as regulations designed to cut car and truck pollution by accelerating the transition to electric vehicles, or to slash power plant pollution with the use of costly carbon capture and sequestration technology, could now be more legally vulnerable. The result would quite likely be that stringent climate rules designed to sharply reduce emissions could be replaced by much looser rules that cut far less pollution. Experts say that could also be the fate of existing rules on smog. 5. United States. Allergy and Asthma Network newsletter. July 1, 2024. Environmental policies or best practices to reduce asthma triggers is the 6th exhale strategy. Excerpts edited by RAWSEP for brevity and clarity in relationship to residents against wood smoke emission particulates, a 501c3 nonprofit organization. There are 3 components that focus on indoor, outdoor, and occupational sources. Approaches for this strategy include home efficiency and weatherization and smoke-free policies. 6. Arizona. Wood burning prohibition. The Arizona Department of Environmental Quality has issued an ozone high pollution advisory. Arizona Emergency Information Network, AZ.gov wood burning in residential fireplaces, chimneys, outdoor fire pits, and similar outdoor fires is prohibited in Maricopa County. News flash. Maricopa County. This prohibition includes individuals and businesses which have burn permits for open wood burning. 7. California. Smoke advisory issued through weekend in LA area from Northern California wildfires. RAWSEP View. Northern California wood fire emissions are predictably infiltrating into Southern California. MSN. Limiting exposure by remaining outdoors with windows and doors closed. Switch on air conditioners or air purifiers. Avoid burning wood in a fire pit. 8. California Air Resources Board. Combustion pollutants and indoor air quality. CA.gov combustion pollutants are the gases and particles made by burning any fuel, such as wood. 9. California, San Francisco. PM2.5 and COVID-19. What COVID-19 spike could mean for California wildfires. Health. sfexaminer.com San Francisco Examiner. PM2.5 is a type of particulate matter that's small enough to get past the body's natural filtration system and lodge deep into people's lungs. 10. California, Ventura. The temperature of fireworks compared to the temperature of wood burning. Ventura County DA's office warns public about illegal fireworks ahead of July 4th. KYT. Sparklers, often mistakenly considered safe, burn at a scorching 1,200 degrees Fahrenheit. Wood burning at 575 degrees. These temperatures can cause severe burns. Excerpts edited by RAWSEP for brevity and clarity in relationship to residents against wood smoke emission particulates, a 501c3 nonprofit organization. Fireworks are hazardous and can result in serious injuries. Sparklers, often mistakenly considered safe, burn at a scorching 1,200 degrees Fahrenheit, significantly hotter than boiling water at 212 degrees or wood burning at 575 degrees. These temperatures can cause severe burns, particularly to children's hands and fingers. 11. Iowa. State fire deaths rate about average midway through the year. Radio Iowa. Wood says one issue he's seen more of are fires that are started by people who smoke, or those who smoke while on oxygen. But the smoking and smoking. 12. Massachusetts, Boston. Man arrested for arson after fire destroys Squealing Pig, police say. WCVB. Wood burning oven. They have, that like something might have a man has been charged with arson in connection to a fire at a Boston pub, police. Last week, crews responded around midnight to an intense fire that completely gutted the restaurant on Mission Hill Smith Street. The heat also damaged a nearby streetlight and 2 vehicles, Boston Fire said. 13. New York. PM2.5 and hiking. DEC reminds visitors to focus on safety as summer hiking season begins. NISDAC New York State Department of Environmental Conservation. NY.gov additional information on ozone and PM2.5 is available on DEC's website and on DOH's website, PM2.5, a new DEC fact. 14. New York. Buffalo. New responsibility, warning from New York State. WYRK. The sound of kids playing fills the playgrounds, and the smell of wood smoke lingers in the air most of the day, whether it is a grill. 15. Pennsylvania. Lancaster, West Earl Township. RAWSEP View. It is not helpful to suggest that wood burners using only clean, dry wood are not polluting their air and the air of their near neighbors. It would simplify the code and save lives by simply stating that wood burning is banned, and there are cheaper alternatives in 2024 for home heating, with rebates of up to $8,000, based on a sliding income scale, available for heat pumps that work down to 40 degrees below zero and double as air conditioners. Excerpts edited by RAWSEP for brevity and clarity in relationship to residents against wood smoke emission particulates, a 501c3 nonprofit organization. Supervisors receptive to suggestion to rewrite burn ordinance. Lancaster Online. He also said he wanted to simplify the code to assist farmers. Addition. He suggested adding clean, dry wood as an allowed material to be burned. 16. Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh. Fire at Westinghouse Arts Academy School in Wilmerding. I smelled like burning wood, and I got down off the scaffolding, said a contractor who was working at the building. 17. Vermont, West Newbury. Forum for June 25, 2024. Burning biomass. Valley News. Please urge your members of Congress to treat industrial wood burning, biomass for what it really is. A threat to our climate, wildlife, forests, air quality, and the communities where polluters set up shop. A resident, West Newbury, Vermont. Excerpts edited by RAWSEP for brevity and clarity in relationship to residents against wood smoke emission particulates, a 501c3 nonprofit organization. Forest biomass is made by cutting down forests, turning the trees into wood pellets, and burning the pellets to produce electricity on an industrial scale. According to the Natural Resources Defense Council, power plants that burn wood biomass emit 150% more climate-wrecking carbon pollution than those burning dirty coal. Many people near active biomass sites, wood pellet plants and wood-burning power plants suffer from respiratory illnesses and must wear masks or leave their windows closed to keep dust out. And a huge percentage of the communities near these sites are communities of color or low income. This is a grave environmental injustice. Please urge your members of Congress to treat biomass for what it really is, a threat to our climate, wildlife, forests, air quality, and the communities where polluters set up shop. A resident, West Newbury, Vermont. 18. Washington. PM2.5 and human eye health. Wildfire smoke could get in your eyes this summer. Kitsap Daily News. The heavy haze from fires, which clouds the horizon and discolors the sun, contains tiny particles from wood smoke that gets into eyes and lungs. 19. Washington, Spokane. Burn ban to be in effect in cities across Spokane County starting July 2, 2024. RAWSEP View. Don't burn wood indoors residentially either. CRIM 2. All recreational fires are not allowed. This includes any outdoor fire without a chimney such as a backyard fire pit or campfire using chopped wood. 20. Washington, Wenatchee. How Wenatchee Fire Department trains for EV battery fires. RAWSEP View. Don't burn wood, period. Excerpts edited by RAWSEP for brevity and clarity in relationship to residents against wood smoke emission particulates, a 501c3 nonprofit organization. News Radio 560 KPQ. Burn only dry, seasoned wood. Just like your chimney, your fireplace, and wood stoves need to be checked out by professionals for your health. 21. Canada. Burning trees for energy really does heat the climate, scientists argue. Yahoo News Canada. RAWSEP View. The parties involved in this dispute. 1. The United States Department of Agriculture and their clean air tax credits. 2. The wood burning industry, which would like clean air tax credits. 3. The scientists who point out that wood burning is not clean energy. The scientists in this article focus on the fact that CO2 and PM2.5 emitted by wood burning contribute to climate change. 4. The aviation industry, which the scientists say contributes only 1/3 of the pollution that industrial wood burning does to hastening climate change. RAWSEP focuses on the fact that the PM2.5 emitted by wood burning contributes to adverse human health effects, especially for near neighbors who act as canaries in a coal mine, and endure adverse health effects and early deaths because of the near neighbor's proximity to polluting indoor residential wood burning. RAWSEP View. Planting, under one plan, up to 1 trillion trees, in place of trees that are burned for energy, cooking, and recreation because wood burning is a current polluting fad, does not make PM2.5 emissions from wood burning magically disappear. Through photosynthesis, mature trees do reabsorb some CO2 from the air and emit O2, but trees do not magically absorb PM2.5 from wood burning. PM2.5, besides being a human health hazard which causes many illnesses from cancer to asthma, leading to early deaths, also contributes to hastening climate change. PM2.5 really does heat the climate, as the scientists argue in this article. The opposing view to the scientists is the wood burning industry, which apparently values their profits over human health. The United States Department of Agriculture is reconsidering the wood burning industry's clean energy tax credits for the reason that wood burning also contributes to climate change. Excerpts edited by RAWSEP for brevity and clarity in relationship to residents against wood smoke emission particulates, a 501c3 nonprofit organization. A rising push to pull energy from the world's forests is heating the planet, despite industry claims otherwise, a new report argues. The report from Princeton researcher Timothy Searchinger and Yale economist Steve Berry cuts against the idea at the core of the growing wood pellet industry, that burning trees for fuel actually drives emissions down. The U.S. Department of Agriculture is looking into the accuracy of that idea as it considers whether the wood burning industry should get access to clean energy tax credits, which, if granted, would help fuel the industry's expansion. A 2002 research paper. By corresponding with the author of a 2002 research paper, Searchinger and Berry learned that the 2002 researcher had meant that doubling forest profits would lead to only a tiny increase, 0.4%, in national forest cover, and that this might well be offset by increased conversion of forests to cropland elsewhere. The two also pushed back on the idea that burning wood for energy is carbon neutral because forests are expanding, logic, they argued, which is akin to saying that a business losing money could be argued to be profitable because businesses elsewhere in the country are making money. They conceded that forests are expanding globally, but argued this expansion was despite increased wood harvests, rather than because of them. The expansion, they argued, was driven by the increased heat and carbon in the atmosphere, making forests continued and uninterrupted growth a vital method of slowing climate change. That's not an argument against wood use per se, they said. The world has valuable uses for wood, just as it has valuable uses for food and many other products that also cause emissions. But for wood, as for other goods, one goal should be to hold down consumption. 22. Canada, British Columbia, Cowichan Valley. RAWSEP View. Is this editorial, from November 15, 2019, still relevant? Has the Cowichan Valley made any progress in instituting new bans on indoor residential wood burning? Like the United States, heat pumps that work down to 40 degrees below zero are available in 2024 and, at least in the United States, in 2024 there are Heat pump rebates available for up to $8,000 based on a sliding income scale, negating any arguments that wood burning is cheaper than using a heat pump that has a very low net price and which lowers monthly electric heat bills immediately. RAWSEP View. The ban on wood burning should include indoor residential wood burning. In the past, it may have been more difficult to identify where the wood smoke was coming from when it came from inside a house. But now we have purple air PM2.5 monitors which can be placed hyperlocally in the yards of near neighbors of indoor residential wood burners. The PM2.5 level data from these purple air PM2.5 monitors can show the source of the pollution, which is often indoor residential wood burning, and purple air PM2.5 monitors can reliably and accurately show that PM2.5 is above Environmental Protection Agency National Ambient Air Quality Standards, EPA NOx, of above 35 micrograms per cubic meter in a 24-hour period, above 9 micrograms per cubic meter annually, or above the World Health Organization PM2.5 safe limits of 5 micrograms per cubic meter. Wood burning emits 90% PM2.5, particulate matter of 2.5 micrometer size, the perfect size to infiltrate the human lung, setting off a cascade of human health problems and early deaths. In comparison, after testing the cleanest burning indoor residential wood stove in the United Kingdom, the eco-design wood stove, wood burning emits 2.8 times the PM2.5 and CO2 as the fossil fuel coal burning, and wood burning emits 450 times the PM2.5 as the fossil fuel natural gas burning. Editorial: Full ban on backyard burning a must for Cowichan. Lake Cowichan Gazette. What they found through an air quality study was that the biggest culprits are local open burning, wood burning appliances, and forest fires. Excerpts edited by RAWSEP for brevity and clarity in relationship to Residents Against Wood Smoke Emission Particulates, a 501c3 nonprofit organization. November 15, 2019. Smoke is once again sitting in a haze over many areas of the Cowichan Valley, and we cannot blame it on faraway wildfires this time. Year after year we experience these advisories, but things don't seem to be getting much better. In 2014, the Cowichan Valley Regional District, Island Health, and 10 other partners put together Cowichan's Regional Airshed Protection Strategy. In it, the first thing they did was define the problem. What they found through an air quality study was that the biggest culprits are local open burning, indoor residential, wood burning appliances, and forest fires in other regions, this last confined to summer. Open burning alone accounted for 53% of total emissions, by far the biggest source. And yet our local governments have continued to allow the antiquated practice of backyard burning in the spring and fall. It looks like their house is on fire. The only solution is a full ban. The issue of smoky skies goes beyond mere annoyance from neighbors, and defining neighbors, when it comes to wood smoke, which travels far and wide, is a broad affair. There are very real health concerns. Island Health has found that admission rates for children with respiratory diseases was 70% higher in Cowichan than provincial rates. Asthma diagnosis for 5 to 45-year-olds was 14% higher, and chronic respiratory illness for those over 45 was 50% higher. People have other options. It is free to take yard waste to the Cowichan Valley Regional District, CVRDs, transfer stations. 23, Canada, British Columbia, East Kootenay. Moving firewood spreads invasive species. RAWSEP View. Just don't burn wood or other solid fuels. Excerpts edited by RAWSEP for brevity and clarity in relationship to Residents Against Wood Smoke Emission Particulates, a 501c3 nonprofit organization. Columbia Valley, Cranbrook, East Kootenay. East Kootenay News. We always urge folks to practice buy local, burn local. It's an easy way to make a big difference. Emerald ash borer was likely first introduced. 24, Canada, Northwest Territories. Tips for avoiding negative health effects from smoke. My true north now. Refrain from using wood stoves. 25, United Kingdom. Ella's Law. Air so polluted it can kill isn't being taken seriously enough. July-August 2024 issue of Wired UK magazine. Science. June 26, 2024. Excerpts edited by RAWSEP for brevity and clarity in relationship to Residents Against Wood Smoke Emission Particulates, a 501c3 nonprofit organization. Toxic air kills over 500,000 children every year. Yet only once has air pollution been listed as a cause of death on a death certificate. In 2010, 3 months before her 7th birthday, Ella Roberta suddenly developed a chest infection and a severe cough. Her mother, Rosamund Adu Kissy Deborah, took her to the local hospital in Lewisham, southeast London, where she was initially diagnosed with asthma. In the following months, she got worse and began suffering from coughing syncope, coughing episodes so violent that they caused her to black out due to a lack of blood supply to the brain. Her condition was extremely rare. So rare, in fact, that Kissy Deborah couldn't find a single case of a child suffering a cough from coughing syncope in the scientific literature. It was only common in long-distance lorry drivers. In the next 3 years, Ella was admitted to hospital about 30 times. On February 15, 2013, shortly after her 9th birthday, she suffered a fatal asthma attack. At the inquest, it was established that some of it might be due to something in the air, Kissy Deborah says. Kissy Deborah was contacted by a reader of the local newspaper who suggested that she check the air pollution levels on the day Ella died. My lawyer outlined on a graph all the times Ella had been admitted to the hospital, and then she got the data from the monitors near the house, Kissy Deborah recalls. There was a spike in air pollution prior to Ella experiencing coughing syncope. 27 out of 28 times. As far as I'm concerned, that's scientifically significant. Particulate matter levels in Lewisham far exceeded World Health Organization, WHO, guidelines. The inquest concluded that Ella died of asthma contributed to by exposure to excessive air pollution. To this date, she remains the only person in the world to have air pollution on her death certificate. The coroner also issued a prevention of future deaths report, recommending UK air pollution levels be in line with WHO guidelines, that the public in England and Wales be made aware of the risks of air pollution, and that health professionals be educated on the health impacts of air pollution and inform patients accordingly. The coroner made it very clear, actually, that unless the air was cleaned up, more children would die. Currently, 600,000 children worldwide die every year from breathing polluted air. In London alone, 250,000 children suffer from asthma. The only time in this country no child has died from asthma was during the first lockdown, Kissy Deborah says. 10 years on from the death of her daughter, she continues to campaign for the legal right to clean air. As part of her campaign, she is lobbying for the approval of the Clean Air Bill in the UK, also known as Ella's Law, a parliamentary bill that establishes the right to breathe clean air. It is the government's duty to clean up the air and ensure that the UK targets are in line with EU targets, as currently, they are not. It's about our health. 26. United Kingdom. Middle-class trend of fitting wood-burning stoves is undermining fight against air pollution. MSN. Wood-burning at home is now producing more pollution than road transport. 22% of the most harmful pollution is from wood burning, versus 18% from roads. Excerpts edited by RAWSEP for brevity and clarity and relationship to Residents Against Wood Smoke Emission Particulates, a 501c3 nonprofit organization. Efforts to fight air pollution are being undermined by the middle-class trend of fitting wood-burning stoves, official figures show. A rise in pollution from people burning wood at home is counteracting a fall in pollution from cars, trucks, and electricity generation. 27. United Kingdom, Shropshire. Politicians told more funding needed to prevent wildfires as temperatures rise. Shropshire Star. A wood with thick smoke rising from the trees. Firefighters are urging the next government to prepare the country for the impact of rising. 28. Germany. Melpits. Researchers make disturbing air pollution discovery in small rural town. MSN. A recent U.S. study discovered that indoor wood burning increased the risk of lung cancer in women by 43%. Excerpts edited by RAWSEP for brevity and clarity and relationship to Residents Against Wood Smoke Emission Particulates, a 501c3 nonprofit organization. New research from Germany has revealed that heating with wood and coal can cause significant air pollution, even in small rural areas. Researchers studying air pollution in Melpits, Germany, discovered that the air contained carcinogenic particles. 29. India, Chandni Chowk. 15 days after blaze, locals battle smoke in Chandni Chowk hub. Hindustan Times. The smell of burning wood and cloth lingered in the air, and soot marks on the walls of neighboring shops guided passers-by to the site of the fire. 30. India, Delhi. Delhi weather update, PM2.5. The air quality at several AQI stations across the city was in poor category on Thursday. In the Anand Vihar area, at 9 a.m., PM2.5, 31. India, Patna. Take steps to check pollution, Patna DM tells stakeholders. Times of India. The regional officer of Bihar State Pollution Control Board, BSPCB, informed the meeting that considerable reduction in the PM2.5 was needed. India, Patna. Patna becomes second most polluted city in India. MSN. AQI is an assessment of air quality that takes into account pollutants, including PM2.5, particulate matter less than 2.5 microns. 32. India. When the streets speak, one must listen. The Wire. Death came alive among the living, smelling of ghee, incense, with smoke, and water everywhere. After the cremations and demonstrations. 33. PM2.5 and meteorological influences. Exploring heterogeneity and dynamics of meteorological influences on US PM2.5, PubMed. Particulate matter, PM, has emerged as a primary air quality concern due to its substantial impact on human health. Many recent research works. 34. PM2.5 in your heart, lungs, and brain. How wildfire smoke can harm your heart, lungs, brain, and more. Center for Science in the Public Interest. Question. Why is particulate matter harmful? Answer. We typically are interested in PM2.5 or smaller, that is, particles that are no more than 2.5 microns in size.